Brown and Crouppen, uncovering the hidden history, pro wrestling patterns, and the stories behind the stories for unapologetic wrestling fanatics. He doesn't just watch wrestling, he decodes it. Here's Brody Patrico and Jeremy on the Lou Information Station.
AEW WrestleDream has concluded. The World Heavyweight title has been vacated due to a Seth Rollins injury. A Glory Pro event is happening tomorrow, a Wrestle Apocalypse. All that today and more on Wrestling on the Spectrum.
Hey, good morning, everybody. An early start time for the fellas here at Wrestling on the Spectrum. Just because it is dark and gloomy outside doesn't mean we can't talk professional wrestling. How are you? My name is Tony Patrico. You spell that Patrico, baby. And it is a beautiful Saturday here in St. Louis, joined as always by my good friend JC. JC, good morning. How are you?
Hey, happy Halloween, Tony. We are all treats, no tricks here. John Moxley tasted defeat, and it looks like Seth Rollins he didn't have candy in his bag.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, if you guys want to get involved, we highly encourage you guys to get involved with us today. 855-282-8255 is the phone number. Also, you can go online and watch the show. We are live on YouTube. You can find us by going to louinfo.com or just going to the YouTube channel and looking for the Lou Information Station. First, before we even dive into anything, Jeremy, what do we got on today? What are we rocking today?
Oh, this is a sweatcito at Herman,
Sweatcito.
our sponsor, Brown and Crouppen, my good friend, got me into this. And so for Halloween, I thought I'd come out with a little burnt orange and supporting the U of I.
Fly and Ryan Swingler joining us here behind the steering wheel. Ryan, what do you think of this sweatcito?
When I showed up to the studio and I saw Jeremy in it, I'm like, yeah, he's got a fit on today.
I mean,
he's ready to play. He's ready to play.
I saw him walking in the parking lot, and I went, what is he wearing? And then almost instantaneously, I went, he looks comfy.
Yeah,
he looks real comfy.
For the show. As the kids say, I'm the ultimate unk.
Yes, you are.
That's right. You are kind of like an ultimate unk.
100%. That tracks.
My little bro friends.
Whatever that is.
If you are looking for a wrestling persona, you are the ultimate unk. You too, baby.
I feel like Don Callis might be the ultimate unk.
We'll
listen,
see, folks.
We spent time with Don Callis.
Yes,
you cannot put you and Don Callis in the same sentence.
No, I don't by any means. And I was really, again, that's a great interview you all did with him. And we'll get into it because we were living the Wrestle Dream. I mean,
yes,
Brody,
we were.
To go backstage.
Absolutely.
Top Guy Weekend with Conrad.
Yes.
Hey, before we dive into AEW WrestleDream, we do have to say a ginormous thank you to Ad Free Shows and to Conrad Thompson, the crew over there.
Great crew they got over there.
From Top Guy Weekend. I mean, it started on Thursday. Myself and Ryan were at Helium Comedy Club.
Yes.
Uncle Laser was the headliner, but we saw the Casio Kid, who is involved in a lot of Ad Free Show stuff. Casio Kid might have been top 3 stand-up comedians I've ever seen.
Wow, isn't that funny?
And from what I'm hearing, he did about 10% of his bit, and the rest was just talking to the crowd.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely incredible. And then I know on Friday, Brody, you were at a wrestling involved comedy show.
At Crack Fox. They had a comedy. It was at the Crack Fox Comedy Club. It was phenomenal. RJ City and Cole Cabana hosted. There were several. Harley Cameron was particularly phenomenal. Tony Schiavone did a great job. Karen and Jeff Jarrett were there. And, of course, Thekla from Austria was there as well. A lot of AEW stars at the Crack Fox. I'm looking for Top Guy Weekend, folks. Adfreeshows.com, Patreon. Just type in adfreeshows.com. Go there. Subscribe to Top Guy Weekend. It's $99 a month. I know it's super expensive, but you'll get invited to Top Guy Weekend. And, of course, you'll get a lot of access to exclusive content on adfreeshows.com. It's absolutely phenomenal. Of course, for Top Guys who are subscribed to Top Guys, there's going to be a weekend for you coming up January 30th. January 31st, February 1st. Keep the dates open. There's another Top Guy weekend going to be scheduled soon, so stay tuned. There's a lot more. You're going to get access to a lot of wrestlers, a lot of panels. You're going to see a lot of current wrestlers. You're going to see a lot of former wrestlers. You're going to see a lot of tributes, a lot of wrestling history, a lot of current stuff, all mixed in, a lot of fun games as well, fun for the family. AE Top Guy Weekend with adfreeshows.com, an absolutely stellar event, and you should subscribe. Top Guy status. That's what Top Guy status gets you
Yeah.
on adfreeshows.com.
And you say, like, oh, $99, it's a little expensive, but like the amount of access that you get,
It's incredible, guys.
It pays itself off in tenfold. I mean,
we
it
were
is
sitting there
incredible.
with
Like
Jeff Jarrett, who was looking totally jacked, by the way.
He looks phenomenal.
He
doesn't
looks
He still looks like he can
fantastic.
go in the
my
ring.
gosh.
When-
And
when
it's
we
like you're
saw
at a watch
him-
party with your favorite wrestlers there, he's
Yeah.
breaking down cage matches with DDP.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have listened to that all weekend.
It was
You get
phenomenal.
Powerhouse Hobbs, Tony Schiavone,
Eddie Kingston.
It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
I don't. The level of access is unparalleled.
Unbelievable.
So tell them about that. Yeah. So Saturday we got to go out to the hotel and join Conrad and Top. That was my first experience with it, and it was truly just a dream.
It was absolutely excellent. We obviously broadcasted live from there last week. A lot of current wrestlers, as Jeremy mentioned, Powerhouse Hobbs, Eddie Kingston, Conrad hosts them all. You're there, you're watching current stuff, you're watching historical stuff. They had Trevor Murdoch, who had a great panel segment with the fans. They were so attentive and so knowledgeable. If you're a wrestling fan, you're like, there aren't a lot of wrestling fans like me. There are people that travel long distances for these things who are exactly like you and are totally entrenched. Like, they're not on their phones. That's another thing you notice about Conrad's fans. They're not on their
100%.
phones. They are fully staring. They're listening. They're attentive. They're actively engaged with it. They know the product. They know every historical fact. They know, some of them even more know than I do. It's insane.
That I find it very tough
It's
to
very
believe.
hard to believe, but there are people that just they're so knowledgeable. It's such a great welcome. Saw some fans from St. Louis that listened to some of our stuff and didn't realize all the stuff that Top Guy Weekend offers. And then you check that email as soon as you subscribe on patreon.com. And there's so much good stuff on there. You get a signed poster, so much exclusive merch. And as Tony posted on his social media, a lot of access to a lot of really cool belts, big gold belts right there. You get to hold it up there.
I didn't even realize Macho Man's Intercontinental belt was there. I would have walked over.
Dude, it was
Yeah,
incredible.
it was phenomenal.
And it's
So many
amazing.
belts.
It's amazing. Like, everybody that is a giant wrestling fan, at one point in your life, you spend too much money on a replica belt.
Of course.
That happens. That
Those
happens.
are real things that Conrad has spent.
But dude, I'm telling you, the weight differential on
It's amazing.
even the $400 ones that you buy that are like super nice and look like the exact same thing,
600.
it is unbelievable the weight that is behind that
Really?
big gold belt, Ric Flair's big gold belt that I posted on socials. That thing is heavy. Like, I felt like I needed to go to the gym afterwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing I want to say about Top Guy Weekend is you have seen wrestlers at panels before,
Yes.
talking about matches, talking about their personal experiences, and it's all great. But for whatever reason, when Conrad is involved,
Right.
when Top Guy Weekend happens, when ad-free shows gets involved in all this stuff, wrestlers seem to let their guard down
Right.
even more.
Right.
And you really start to learn about the people, and you start to learn about what they're doing and why they're wrestling. And I think that's what really sets things apart. So again, like Brody said, late in January, early February, they've started to tease another announcement about Top Guy Weekend. If you go to luinfo.com, Dave the Boss is involved in all of this as well. So we'll be posting stuff about it as the time comes closer. But, the reason Top Guy Weekend was here in St. Louis was because AEW WrestleDream was at
AEW
Chaffetz
WrestleDream.
Arena.
Yes.
A great show, and I hope you guys brought a pillow because it was a late one.
a little long. It was, and there were a lot of matches. Obviously, want to dive into that. Of course,
is the big debate talking
Yeah.
about was how
Yeah.
long is too long, and I talked to a lot of fans who liked it. They like the value of it, given WWE is doing shorter cards. So that's the debate among us. We were talking outside about it. Are you getting your money's worth with it, or is as Ed describes it, was the whole show an I Quit match?
Here's my quick take on it, okay? And then Brody, I want to hear your thoughts
Okay.
on the length of the pay-per-view.
Okay.
My quick take is this. I had my kids. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to the live show,
Yep.
but I did buy it on HBO Max.
Did you?
Okay. For me, I make it go till 2 a.m. Make
can
my
check
$40
in,
worth
check
it,
out.
and
Okay.
I can go, oh, this match right here, I need to go switch the laundry and then come back.
Okay.
When I'm buying a pay-per-view at home and I've just spent $40 to watch this on my couch, make it go till 5 a.m. I don't care, because then I have access
That's
to
a
it.
good point.
Okay.
That's a good-
Now,
That's a good point.
now
Really good.
being in that arena at 11 o'clock and the main event starting, I can only imagine, because
It was-
in
it
my
was
head,
long.
I was doing the math going, I would be exhausted at this point.
People were leaving. It was
I,
long.
I think the thing to maybe think of it like, if you're going in attendance, you are part of the show.
Yes.
You are an extra in there, and you are sort of committing to being engaged and cheering. And believe me, we wanted to stay, but after talking wrestling, it felt like I had too much cotton candy, or just it's 8 p.m. We were starting to tap out. We were
Brody, thoughts on the length of the pay-per-view?
Thoughts on the length of the pay-per-view? Well, I think it was long. Obviously, they give you your money's worth. They try to give you your money's worth. They're trying to give you as many matches as possible. The audience in the stands, they were bored. This whole thing, I don't want everyone and their cousin knows, it wasn't a great show. Like, legitimately.
See, you say that, but I was super entertained.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't. I enjoy the shows, but it wasn't. There's nothing that anything happened. There's nothing anything major that happened. It lacked a sort of sizzle.
Hold on, Kenny Omega coming in. We had a heck of a match. We can get into it. The Jurassic Express, Young Bucks. You can't sit there. And It was Tony Khan, who was on our buddy Rizzuto's show. I disagree.
I disagree too.
Too much of a good thing almost. This is your cup runneth over.
This is my question for you guys at the panel.
Sure.
Rate WrestleDream out of 1 out of 10, or out of 10. What would you guys rate it?
7.
Yeah, I'd say an 8.
What would you rate it?
Give it about a 4 or 5.
Wow. See, you are.
You're hard.
He's a tough. He's notoriously a tough critic. Okay,
right. That's like a 7 or 8
in my book. Yeah. I agree. I think a Brody 4 or 5 is a Tony Patrico 7 or 8.
Right, and that's fair.
And I think it is.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so. If we would recap every match that happened, we would be here till 3 p.m.
Right.
You would miss the East St. Louis football game. You'd miss the Illini football game. You'd miss the national championship game.
I would not be getting paid.
Yeah. So, okay. So talk about the match that I want you to talk about first, okay, is the Don Callis family versus Brodito, okay? Because we talked to Don Callis, and Don Callis was very confident that his family would win in 15 minutes, if you remember that. They did not.
No,
they did not.
Brodito retained the belts, and it was Kazuchika Okada hit the best dropkick I've seen him hit in AEW, despite the fact he literally looks like he's sleepwalking through everything and has no emotion.
But that's funny because I think that's part.
Jeremy, he was good. His character has changed and evolved.
No, I think it's part of his current. I think it's
his heel character.
Correct.
Have you watched him in New Japan? He was the white baby face, and now he's in AEW with a new attitude. That was hilarious.
Yeah, and I think the attitude change. Yes. I think it's part of the conflict between that tag team. Okay. And I think that's exactly it. I think that's what it is.
Nothing happened, though. There was no turn. Nothing happened. It felt like, okay, Okada and Takeshita just got beat. That's what the audience was like.
Have you ever seen a tag team split because the guys literally relished screwing his partner over and not getting the belt to set up a Wrestle Kingdom dream match?
Here's what people expected. Okada and Takeshita maybe lose the match, but then one of them blames the other, and then they start to have the friction and turn each other.
The other. He clotheslined him. And
I've
never laughed at it. That's a heel move.
It is a heel move.
And keep in mind, they're in the same family.
Yes.
So
I know.
Must be pulling his hair out.
I'm sure he is.
Well,
I think have any.
There wasn't more to this that it should have been.
Yeah, I think it did what it did though for Brodito, because I think it pushed the storyline of them splitting up. It pushed the storyline of Brodito being an actual legit tag team.
Brodito got the most out of it.
Now, Brody, I have a fun, interesting fact for you guys. Okay. Does anybody know who the headliner was for the very first All In 2019?
Oh no,
in Chicago?
No.
That was it was Okada and Kenny Omega, wasn't it?
Nope. No. So it was Cody and the Young Bucks versus Rey Fenix, Bandito,
Rey Mysterio,
and Rey Mysterio. Yes. Isn't it crazy to think that Rey Mysterio, technically, it wasn't an AEW event,
more of an
but
ROH
technically, the very first major event by AEW, or at least the people involved, Rey Mysterio from the WWE headlined it.
That was that brief period when he was sort of
incredible,
independent, and it's true. And there was talk early on of Rey Mysterio being in there. I think with Dominic's success, there's no way we're going to see that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Dominic is shot to the moon.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if he would ever leave. But
by the way, the 6-man tag match, I think it was the Golden Elite, Ibushi, Jackson, and Nick versus Bandito, Rey Fenix, and Rey Mysterio. By the way, 2 of those guys are now in WWE.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Well,
crazy.
Lots of other stuff.
And I know there's so much we can get into today. I know we want to talk about WrestleDream, but of course, I've got my eye on the whole Andrade thing. Now there's reports that he may be going back to WWE. I don't know if you heard that or not.
Let's stay focused on WrestleDream because there's so much more we got to talk about here.
Please don't bring him
and there's more. Okay. First match of the night, everyone was banned from ringside. Jamie Hayter defeated Tekla in a sloppy train wreck. Move on from that. let's not have that be the lasting note of the pay-per-view. Jurassic Express defeated the Young Bucks for $500,000. Don Callis family comes out there. Kenny Omega returns. Probably the best part of this match because as a normal Young Bucks match is, no psychology, no tagging. It was just people were there. They were kind of just sitting there in between their little stunts and tricks. Luchasaurus is so popular with the audience. He's phenomenal. I wish he was more produced, and I wish he was better in the ring. And just Jack Perry, nobody's really into Jack Perry. They still blame him for the CM Punk disaster. And he's never going to ever overcome it. So, but it's nice to see Jurassic Express back together. Looks like they're going to have them feud with the Don Callis family. This is an example of good storytelling. I'll point this out because now the Jurassic Express is feuding with the Don Callis family. This is good because now it involves Mark Davis and Lance Archer and Josh Alexander in a feud with a legitimate tag team. This is a good example of it. I like that part of it. This match was a normal Young Bucks match. If you like that type of thing, it was a nice win for the Jurassic Express. Thoughts, guys?
The crowd loved it.
I think you watch these matches and are looking for criticism for the matches, correct? I mean, like
looking for
because like we say on the open here, you don't just watch wrestling, you decode it. You really look into everything. As a casual fan, I watch this match and I go, fun as hell. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Okay.
I love the Young Bucks, the trolling on the entrance. I love all of that. And I think this was one of those matches where, as a casual fan tuning into AEW, who self-admittedly doesn't watch every week, I was very entertained by this match.
Yeah.
And again, you break down the matches and look at, what the Young Bucks are capable of doing and what they did. Same with Jurassic Express, what they're capable of doing and what they did. I look at this and go, this was the perfect way. I thought this was great. I thought it was
it a great way to get Jurassic Express over. Did you feel like it was an important win for the Jurassic Express?
100%.
Legitimize the new version of them. To your point, Luchasaurus was over. And Insight, I saw him in the hotel lobby. I just saw this tatted up, jacked up. Didn't recognize him without the mask on until later he was out with Jack Perry. Almost offered to give him a ride. Fans. But yeah, they were over. This sets up some great storylines. The fans loved it. This is what AEW fans, this is sort of their core product that they love.
Yep, absolutely.
And hate it or love it, the fans were eating it up.
Fair enough.
They were. And I was just in the stands, because I'm a casual with AEW as well. I don't tune into every show, but just seeing how over Luchasaurus is, especially also with the Young Bucks as well. When I saw the chants they were doing, like the EBT stuff and all that stuff, I'm like, this is like real engagement.
They're all in.
Yeah.
Like,
and I love the fact that they have probably the most banger theme song.
They do.
People love the song.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Baltimore is so over. And of course, the most disappointing match of the show, the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, MVP, defeated the demand of Ricochet, Bishop, Kanato. Right result, by the way. I don't have any problem with the result. It's just disappointing. It wasn't good. Ricochet, he there's something off. He does all the gymnastics, but just his instincts, they're just not good. And Toa Leon is so bad. He just drags everything down. Bishop Khan is really good. He's actually probably the best of the demand. Obviously, the Hurt Syndicate gets the revenge. They get their receipt from the previous pay-per-view, but this wasn't good. And this felt too short. It was too short. It wasn't a good match on either, and just not a really highlight of either of these two for the trios title. I guess they're going to feud with the heel Ops. Now the Hurt Syndicate is feuding with the Ops, which is Samoa Joe, Will Hobbs, and what is it, Shibata or whatever is the third guy, and they're gonna feud with them. And we're gonna talk about that later because it was very important here. Samoa Joe fully turned heel. We're gonna talk about that, but this was probably the most disappointing match of the pay-per-view. But right result. Hurt Syndicate gets the revenge on the demand. They could finally move on from this disastrous rivalry, and we can just move on from this. And I'm excited to see Samoa Joe, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, Will Hobbs, and MVP getting it up. So I'm ready.
Well, it was so fun to see MVP in the ring. That's always a treat.
MVP was great.
Yeah, I saw him in the hotel lobby afterwards. And you know what you say when MVP and the Hurt Syndicate are sitting there eating?
What do you say? Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. The stars, Jeremy.
He had to be eating. But let me say, Bobby Lashley in real life, boy,
he's jacked, isn't he?
Some of these folks, you don't get a sense. And that's why we'll talk about things like Glory Pro and going to AEW. When you see these folks in real life, TV doesn't do it justice.
It's literally like when you see like an NBA player, you're like, oh, this 6'3" guy isn't that tall. And then you see him in real life and he's like, it's the same
I remember
thing.
seeing
like,
the Big Show, Paul White, and
Oh
you're
my
like, wow,
gosh.
this just doesn't
it's
do it
outrageous.
justice.
They
But
look like cartoon characters, and for a reason. You know, these are action heroes in real life doing real life amazing things that you don't believe should be done by a human being, and they do it on a weekly basis. It's absolutely incredible. Now, Brody, like I said, I know the card was huge. It lasted forever. Give me some highlights here of some of the major matches so we can make sure we give it due.
I'll do a quick rundown. Kyle Fletcher retained the AEW TNT Championship over Mark Briscoe. I'll say this, Kyle Fletcher, he's probably going to be the biggest wasted talent in all of wrestling. He's got an incredible physique. He's athletic. He has good in-ring work. He doesn't have a defined personality yet, and he's developing bad habits. He doesn't know how to properly put a match together. He won't develop psychology in AEW, how to put a match together. But he had a nice match over Mark Briscoe.
I was going to say, did we watch the same thing? Because I thought that was incredible.
Fletcher is like a future world champion.
He is. We all watched the same thing.
Has a tag team flippity-floppity guy to like defined young king that's hungry and dangerous.
I'm giving Fletcher his flowers.
Those didn't sound like flowers. Those sounded like weeds.
Yeah, you gave him thorns there.
The good kind.
I gave him his flowers. He's very good.
This guy is developing.
He's
and
very
kudos
good
to the veteran Mark Briscoe for putting him over.
Yes.
Mark Briscoe was over. And I think that was the theme of the night. Is like every one of these matches was awesome.
There were no title
we were
changes
just
though.
Starting to get a little tired. Where it was
there were no title changes.
And then they had Mercedes Moné.
Let me talk about that. Okay, let me explain to everybody. Hold on, Ryan. Let me unpack this.
Like I do.
No, let me unpack this for a second. So Chris Statlander defeated Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship. That's not a surprise here. It was flat, but she retained it, whatever. Mercedes Moné comes and punks out Chris Statlander, and this was maybe the worst part of the night. Chris Statlander just exits the ring like a wimp.
But
completely buried.
Set it up for later for the payoff, Brody. I agree with you.
But why would you exit the ring? It didn't, and this match wasn't necessary.
When we were all watching, and that's what they wanted you to think, Brody. Was
the match wasn't necessary. Do you know?
I agree with that should have been a TV match.
No, and that match wasn't necessary. You know what? Tony's belt pointed too many belts. This will lament his point. Did you know what belt they were fighting for? The interim Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship.
I don't disagree that should have been saved for something else.
The interim Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship. Too many belts.
Well, now their thing is they're just going to put 30 different belts on there. Okay,
CEO.
She's going. Listen, Mercedes Moné's schedule was like Mexico on Friday, Canada the next day. She's having a blast. Listen, I know there's mixed things. I think this is great. This will be career defining.
Hey, this is Jeremy. You always talk about good for business too, right?
Yes.
This is huge for the Mercedes Moné business because there were reports.
It's good for her business.
There were reports coming out that like these indie promotions want her to come and win the belt. And guess what? Minimum $25,000 appearance.
And I also those are the ones she doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
Those guys get the 25.
There you go.
Yeah, crazy, man.
Listen, she's a star, and to that point, not many stars of her caliber would be messing around in indie promotions.
Of course, we're going to talk about Sting. Are we nearing the break, Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to talk about Sting coming into St. Louis after the break, and of course, we're going to talk about some upcoming WWE stuff. And we got so much more talking about Glory Pro, and we got to beat the brain probably coming down the pike, folks. Please stay tuned. Wrestling on the Spectrum. We will be back very soon.
Yeah. So just so when you guys want to participate and beat the brain, couple ways to get involved. 855-282-8255 if you want to try and hop on the phone, or the easiest way is to just go to the YouTube channel where you can not only watch the show, but you can also get involved and tell us your answers there. LouInfo.com. That is the website. You can check it out, click watch live, and then see us there. We'll be right back after the break talking more AEW and WWE here on Wrestling on the Spectrum on the Lou Information 8255 is the phone number. Big thanks to our sponsors, Brown and Crouppen, 222-2222. Before the break, we were covering the AEW WrestleDream card that happened last Saturday here in St. Louis at Chaffetz Arena. We do not have until midnight today to cover the rest of the card.
And I agree.
So let's talk about two matches, okay? I want to talk about the Darby Allin-Moxley match, and I want to talk about the main event. So let's start with Darby. Let's start with Moxley and the I Quit match.
All right. Well, we knew Darby Allin was going to make Jon Moxley say the words "I quit." That wasn't a shock. This is ridiculous and how preposterous this whole match was. Typical Moxley match. There's nothing really to break down here, except they had a spot with a fish tank. How ridiculous and preposterous is that? A spot with a fish tank. And by the way, I know I get on WWE about using their bat signal to harken back stars. That's exactly what AEW used here. They used the bat signal, except it was a scorpion. And Sting appears, and his hair wasn't dyed. He looked like Colonel Sanders, appeared in the middle of the ring, and did a spot. And it was a nice reaction. It was nice. But Sting showing up is never surprising anymore because you never really miss him because he never goes away.
Hold up.
And AEW, and I'm sure it was surprising in the moment, but it's like, oh, it's Sting. He's retired from the ring. You know he's not going to have a match. But he's there, and then he handed the bat off to Darby. He took Marina Shafir in the back, and then Darby made Moxley say, I quit. It's nice to see Sting. It's nice. But that's AEW, again, trying to use star power because they don't have enough of it, hearkening back to legends of the past. Everyone talks about, well, WWE harkens back to legends of the past, and AEW doesn't do that. Well, this is an example of AEW doing it here.
But hasn't Sting and Brody or Darby and Darby been connected? This made total narrative sense for him to come back. I like old man Sting. It didn't make sense. Old man Sting look is like a Batman thing. Like it's why does it make no sense that his mentor would come back?
No, it makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make any sense, but then you get all these people like, well, WWE relies too much on legends from the past. But that's exactly what AEW did here to get a big audience reaction. You can't deny it.
But it also made sense in the story.
And it's fine. It made sense.
Do you think this is a callback to where did Sting debut for the WWE?
And Survivor Series, St. Louis. Yeah,
in St. Louis. Do you think this is a callback? Do you think this is AEW going, hey, you guys debuted Sting. That's fine. Well, guess what? We've got a surprise for you guys too.
Yeah.
And I think, again,
I didn't hate it. It wasn't egregious, but it was like the one takeaway you really got out of this match. That was it.
Well, I think the one takeaway that I got out is I was blown away by, on social media, I am looking and seeing people saying that the fish tank spot was the one spot that offended them and that they were mad that their children saw. And I'm like, of all the spots that they've done, especially the last Darby Allin match where it was like brutal to the point where I even believe Ed Herman said, I can't watch this anymore. This is going to make me puke.
Right. Yes.
Okay. So you have that match. And then all of a sudden somebody being drowned in a fish tank is going to
ridiculous and preposterous for it to be on a wrestling program. It's ridiculous. It's typical Moxley garbage. It's a garbage deathmatch aspiring guy who emulates Nick Gage for no apparent reason. It's just typical Moxley crap, and everybody knows it.
Well, that's one pessimist way to view it. But we sat here and said, these guys are going to pull out riding lawnmowers and destroy each other.
I'm sure they do.
You read the same things I did, that the Missouri Athletic Commission got involved and wouldn't let them do some things.
Well, I heard,
thank goodness.
I heard that there was an interview with Darby Allin, and they were like, the finish had to be decided like 3 or 4 times because the first 3 finishes that both Moxley and Darby Allin agreed upon.
I'm sure they did.
Agreed upon. Would there was fear that Darby Allin could die.
Really?
Yeah.
They said real life death.
Yeah, I know. This is what they do.
Yeah, I don't even watch
it's insane.
This is an insult and embarrassment to the sport of professional wrestling. We should not have guys
I don't believe that. I agree.
AEW fans, we're going to just bring them in there, and they love this stuff because
they do.
ECW. This is what you're not getting in the WWE.
I know.
A little bit more, and every show is like a buffet, and you get a little bit of this,
it'll turn away advertisers, and they'll keep being in the buildings that they're in.
I mean, listen,
that building was rocking.
That building was rocking, especially when Sting came out, man. That place exploded.
No, Sting, that's the biggest audience reaction of the night.
That thing exploded.
We can debate pizza cutters and things. I hear you on that. Win is too far, but you're just dealing with 2, assassins in the ring. Like I said, like Tony just alluded to, this was probably the least offensive finish they came up with.
Which is insane. Which is absolutely insane. And I thought, I thought that match did what it was supposed to do. I thought it was fine. I was very, very very, very excited about the main event because I knew it was going to be a fight.
Yeah, this was probably my favorite match of the whole night. Hangman Adam Page retained the belt over Samoa Joe. Everybody knew that was going to happen. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew that he was going to retain the belt. Samoa Joe fully turned heel. I'm excited for this. Will Hobbs, Samoa Joe, and the Ops are going against the Hurt Syndicate for the AEW Trios Championship. The Ops will be defending the AEW Trios Championship. No, I'm sorry. The Ops are challenging for the AEW World Trios Championship against Samoa Joe. Is this Shibata? I don't even know anymore. Shibata, Samoa Joe, and Hobbs. So does anybody know they really have the World Trios title? No, nobody really cares. But at least we get to see Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin, who are baby faces finally. Thank goodness. They're probably the most over faction in the company, going up against Samoa Joe, Hobbs, and Shibata. This is going to be a match I'm looking forward to. They're already getting Samoa Joe in another program. We knew Adam Page. This felt like an important win for Adam Page in his title reign. This was not a bad match. I love seeing Samoa Joe wrestle any chance I can. Now he's a full heel. It's not bad. This is enjoyable.
Yeah, Brody, and we're headed into Full Gear next month for AEW. So much to talk about AEW, but there's a lot going on in the WWE, including a case of life imitating art here with Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and I, I know we're running out of time, and I know we want to get to Beat the Brains. So, like, this past week, we saw new tag champs.
Yes.
We got AJ Styles and Rey Fenix with gold around their waist.
No, it was AJ Styles and Dragon Lee.
Or Dragon Lee, I'm sorry. We also have Dragunov as the new U.S. title, which, I mean, what a fantastic match that was. There's so much stuff building up, but again, like JC just alluded to, I mean, this is real life now. Seth Rollins is hurt, or is he? I don't know. But we've got a vacant world championship.
We do.
And Brody, kind of walk us through what's happening.
Seth Rollins apparently had a shoulder injury at Crown Jewel, and then the Vision turned on some Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed have attacked Seth Rollins, and he's now going to be off of television. And a Saturday night's main event, which we will preview next week right here on the program. It'll be CM Punk versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'll give my thoughts on that next week. It was kind of the Vision turning on Rollins. All right, that was kind of unexpected. It was nice. It put more heat on Breaker and Reed.
Too early.
Probably, but we got to we got to start WrestleMania. I said WrestleMania. The road to WrestleMania starts in December,
which is crazy,
and we're getting there. I'm going to talk about next week, but. At Saturday night's main event, it will be CM Punk versus Jey Uso for the vacant title. And, of course, Tony alluded to it. Ilya Dragunov, your new United States Championship. What a great way for him to return. Right. Put a belt on him right away. Put the rocket ship on Ilya Dragunov's
a little thicker,
back.
Too.
I'm not saying that he's going to main event WrestleMania. Ilya Dragunov's a heck of a talent.
Yeah.
And he came back in a tremendous fashion by beating Sami Zayn for the United States Championship. Listen, Sammy's not going to be main eventing WrestleMania anytime, so it was great to see him putting over a younger talent, a guy who could have potential in the long term. I like this match. I like the title change. What a great way for Ilya Dragunov to return to WWE. Your thoughts on Ilya?
I agree. I think it's great. I think he's one of those guys that have been one of the most anticipated returns of the year.
Yep.
To have him return, put gold immediately on him, it says a lot about the faith that the WWE has in him. And I also think it says a lot about him being able to step into that role and be as believable as he is right off the bat.
And from what I read, Sami Zayn was pushing for this. So kudos to Sami for putting over talent.
I love that.
Okay.
Hey, Brody.
Cody Rhodes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's great, man. And I know we can definitely highlight and cover all that stuff. I do want to mention that tomorrow we're actually going to be out and about.
Yes.
And we want you guys to come and say, hey, one of the things that we want to do again is make this a wrestling community.
Yes.
And we start that by tomorrow being at the South Broadway Athletic Club for Glory Pro's WrestlePocalypse. Brody, give them some of the details here and what we'll be doing.
Okay, so Glory Pro WrestlePocalypse. It's going to be tomorrow, guys. It's going to be at the South Broadway Athletic Club. That's right. And the main event is going to be Jake Something versus Cody Lane for the Crown of Glory Championship. We're going to be there. It's going to be phenomenal. The doors open at 2:00 p.m. The show starts at 3:00 p.m. It's going to be an afternoon. It's not going to be night. And folks, I know wrestling can be extremely expensive, so it's fun for the family. If you want to see wrestling live in an intimate fashion, come to the show. I know wrestling can be expensive, but it's fun for the family. Come on down. And, of course, South Broadway Athletic Club. That is 2301 South 7th Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63104. Again, that's the South Broadway Athletic Club, 2301 South 7th Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63104. That's right. It's going to be the South Broadway Athletic Club. Glory Pro WrestlePocalypse. Doors open at 2:00 p.m., 3:00 p.m. is when the event starts. The main event is going to be Cody Lane defending the Crown of Glory Championship against Jake Something. And guys, we're going to have a booth there. We're going to have a table. We're going to have free shirts for everybody. You can say hi to us. You can take a picture. You grab your free t-shirt. Tell us why we're wrong on our wrestling takes. It's going to be an absolute blast. It's going to be tomorrow, October 26th. Come to Glory Pro. It is going to be an absolute blast. Again, it's affordable. Tickets are $20. They are still available at gloryprowrestling.com.
Yeah, these t-shirts are quality, folks.
Yeah, quality
Seth did not
shirts.
spare any expense. Very good. These aren't lawn mowing shirts, folks. These are sleeping in it shirts.
Get yourself some wrestling merch. You don't have a wrestling shirt? Now you do. Come see us tomorrow at South Broadway Athletic Club. One other thing before we get into Beat the Brain here, I always say to people, it would be awesome if you go see the main event and then you get to go shake the wrestler's hand. That doesn't happen in the big promotions. It happens at Glory Pro. You want to see the main event guy and you want to see him tear somebody up in the ring and then go shake his hand and say you're his favorite, you can on Sunday.
And
so
Jake Something is something,
and
in
he
real
is
life.
incredible.
Yes, he is.
Absolutely incredible. That guy's punched me in the head a couple times. So it's pretty incredible.
There you go.
So if you guys know, I also host a show on this station that is music related.
Yes.
So I figured for Beat the Brain today, we'll do a very quick music related Beat the
Before we
Brain.
get to that, though, guys, we still got to talk about Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. They won the tag belts. Folks, they beat the Raw Tag Team Champions, JD McDonough and Finn Balor. What an odd pairing of AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. I guess they wanted to give AJ Styles a bone by having him win the tag belts. So there you go against Dragon Lee.
Totally agree, but we got to beat the brain.
All right.
So here's how this is going to work, Brody. Very simple. So wrestlers have entrances when they come to the ring. Some of them are made by in-house people like Mikey Ruckus and AEW. Jim Johnston is a very famous name, CFO, Def Rebel. But sometimes they use licensed music by big bands.
Yep.
So like if I would say to you, Brody, let's just say this is a good one. This is an easy one. Kid Rock's American Badass was used as whose entrance theme?
Undertaker.
There it is. The Undertaker. Okay. So you get the gist of this game here?
I do. I get the
All
gist.
right. So
Okay.
here we go. Motorhead's King of Kings.
Triple H.
Yep. Triple H. Cult of Personality.
CM Punk.
Okay. Metalingus by Alter Bridge. This is a big.
Edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one's easy. Glass Shatters by Disturbed.
Steve Austin.
What about Somebody's Gonna Get Their Ass Kicked by 3-6 Mafia? He was right.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a good one. Slow Chemical by
Kane.
Finger. All right.
I
I don't know if you guys know that or not, but he said Kane there.
Kane.
He got it correct. All right. I Walk Alone by Saliva.
Batista.
Yep. Rick Derringer.
Hulk Hogan.
You got to do harder ones, man. I know this.
I mean, this is crazy. Okay. POD does whose theme song?
Rey Mysterio.
He's
Okay,
right.
There we go.
The band Rancid does whose theme song?
Oh, Ruby Soho.
Yeah, he's right. God, my God. Okay. How about this? Snoop Dogg has done whose entrance theme?
Snoop Dogg? Was it Men on a Mission?
No.
Oh, more modern. Maybe a cousin.
Really? Oh, Sasha Banks.
Yep, Sasha Banks.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, here's a good one. This Fire Burns by Kill Switch Engage.
Okay, CM Punk.
And
Randy Orton.
Look at this guy. I tried to even throw a curveball in there. Now, if I would say to you, there's no way he's going to get this. I literally have this on my list as impossible. What was the theme song for the 2001 SummerSlam?
SummerSlam? Limp Bizkit something?
I mean, that is crazy because the
I don't even
WrestleMania theme,
remember.
the WrestleMania theme that year was Limp Bizkit's My Way.
Yeah, I know.
Which is crazy.
Okay, My Way. So that was
SummerSlam 2001 was an ECW SummerSlam event. It was like kind of a combined event. And it says here that this was absolutely insane.
Enter
that
Sandman
it was
by Metallica?
Bodies by Drowning
Bodies
Pool.
at the floor.
Bodies
at
by
the
Drowning
floor.
Pool. Yep, absolutely. What are some of your favorite, like if you had to pick a favorite entrance song of all time, Brody, and I mean of all time.
Oh my goodness.
And you get permission to use this theme song for your professional wrestling career, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. Randy Orton's got a good one. Voices in My Head is really good.
I agree.
Burning My Light is
Oh
there.
my goodness.
Or
There's
what's an underrated one?
There's
Christian,
some.
I mean, I know it's not, I know
Christian's
it's
great.
copyrighted, but Junkyard Dogs, another one
Sure.
bites the dust is great.
Look at this. I mean,
That's
So
phenomenal.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Ryan, I know we're running out of time, but what about you? What do you think?
For
What
like
would be
one
yours?
that's just popular. I like Christians, but
Right.
Yes.
with the girls singing though. And
Okay.
then
Right, yes.
Yeah.
and then Burning My Light.
Yeah.
I think that's great
Yeah.
too. I think that's
Edge.
fantastic.
Yeah,
What about
Alter
yours?
Bridge.
If you had to pick one, what would it be?
I mean, Edge, Alter Bridge. I'm trying to think of some that you listen to in the car and stuff. I mean, yeah, I'd go with the Christian as well.
I told you, for me, it's Test. Underrated
Yes.
theme song,
Oh,
Test.
yes.
Listen to that. I'm telling you
Yeah,
right now.
Test,
Hey,
Test.
guys. Can you believe that it's already been an hour of us talking about wrestling?
so much to
Absolutely
go into.
unbelievable. So next week we will be talking about Saturday night's main event. We'll recap or preview that. We'll also talk about what happened during Raw and SmackDown. But the big thing is come see us tomorrow at Glory Pro, South Broadway Athletic Club. We will be there passing out free merch. We would love to say hello to you guys. Come see us. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Brody, anything else? That's it?
Yeah, that's it. Pretty much Glory Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Apocalypse tomorrow, October 26th. That's right. It's going to be at the South Broadway Athletic Club. It's going to be great. We're going to be there. The entire crew is going to be there giving you a free t-shirt. It's going to be great.
I think the fact that you have the opportunity to come out and not only see us, which is, I mean,
come on,
guys. Come on, guys. I mean, tell me right now that coming to see us is not the highlight, the main event. Okay.
Jeez, it's Tony, don't get in the ring. I mean, like, this is your triumphant return here. We gotta,
I'm not going to get in the ring tomorrow,
We're gonna go
but if
through it.
somebody steps up, if somebody gets in my face and one of
There
these
might be some
wrestlers,
old wounds. Here.
listen,
There might be some
now,
storylines.
if one of these wrestlers want to come up to us and they want to get into Brody's face, they want to get into your face, they want to get into Ryan's face. You said you don't mind it?
I don't mind it.
Well, I'll tell you what, the access that we get at Glory Pro, the access that you, and I say we as a fan, I'm not saying we as wrestling on the spectrum, but like we were talking about before the show started, the ticket price is incredible.
Yes, $20.
And it's like, and I know for a fact that like it's not $20 to sit in 15 miles away from the ring. It's $20 to sit 3 rows from the ring.
You're part of the show.
You want a snack? You want a snack? You want something to drink? It's not going to cost you $12 for a soda and $45 for a soft pretzel. They are affordable drinks, man. Affordable snacks.
I spent $15 on a hot dog and a large lemonade.
Okay, see, so that's that.
Cheap these days.
Okay,
it sounded cheap, but man.
Another thing about Glory Pro. All right, so you go to a major promotions event. All right. And you want to buy a shirt of your favorite wrestler. First off, you wait in a line that literally will make you miss 3 to 4 matches.
Correct.
And this is not talking about any promotion. This is just how life is. I saw a clip from like some concert at Enterprise Center where the line was 2.5 hours long for a concert, which is crazy. So you want to go buy that shirt. It costs you a ton of money and you got to wait in line. At Glory Pro, you literally walk up to the wrestler whose shirt it is, you shake their hands, and you say hello, and then you buy one of their shirts for $10.
And that means a lot to them too. There's no, is it licensing and things? It goes right to the artist.
So, Brody, if somebody has no idea what Glory Pro is, obviously we don't want to say to them like, hey, if you go, it's going to be just like WWE or AEW, because it's not. You had to say, what is Glory Pro and what
like
type of wrestling are they going to get?
From a small town, minor league baseball, like a AAA, like a Memphis Redbirds, like a AAA affiliate, a AA affiliate of a Major League Baseball team. That's kind of what it's like. It's like minor league baseball, going to a minor league baseball game. That's kind of what it's like.
I agree. And I think the cool thing is like I said, the access to the wrestlers. The access to the wrestlers. And this is not, and I know what you're thinking. You hear Glory Pro Wrestling, you hear local St. Louis promotion, you hear South Broadway Athletic Club, and you go, this is a ragtag operation. It's not.
It's not.
The people involved have been in the wrestling scene locally and internationally for a very long time. I know that when you go to these types of shows, this is where wrestling fans are born.
Yes,
exactly.
Like when we were growing up, we had the opportunity, but it was even Brody, when you were growing up, this opportunity wasn't there.
No, it wasn't.
The local wrestling promotions were more territorial or more regionally, and you had to go when the show came through Chicago. You had to go up there. But we have so many different options for local wrestling here in St. Louis, and the fact that this is where wrestling fans are born is just so impressive.
Yeah, and wrestling stars are born, and the action, you say, it's even more intense. It's AEW level of quality of elite wrestling going on there, and you're up close. You can feel those hits and the artistry of it, the storytelling. Fantastic, just as good. So these are where stars are made.
Absolutely. Brody, there are usually some times where some bigger stars, whether they be veterans that are kind of at the tail end of their career or folks that are just slowly starting to break, in your personal opinion, I know you've watched a lot of local wrestling shows.
Sure.
Who has been the one wrestler that you've seen locally who then down the road really did something on a national stage?
Ooh,
great question, right?
Yeah,
because again, this is the time where you see those guys, and then in 2 years you see them in
MJF
WWE.
appeared at a Glory Pro event way back in the day.
Sure did.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
MJF appeared at a Glory Pro event. So there you go.
We interviewed again, and we talked about this earlier. We were at Top Guy Weekend last weekend, and we interviewed Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah,
and Speedball has done, dude. He has done a bunch of Glory Pro events.
Yes, he has.
And he is again one of the things that I love. And Brody, I know you posted this on the socials about Speedball Bailey, which by the way, you can go back and watch those full interviews up online at the YouTube channel. But Speedball said, like, I came to AEW because I appreciate wrestling as an art form.
Yes.
And when you hear a guy say that, and then 3 years ago, I see him wrestling at a Glory Pro show, I go, yep, that tracks, because I watched him, and the way he wrestles in AEW is the exact same he wrestles at Glory Pro.
Yes.
And you are seeing him in an environment that you are watching him take off. We just lit the fuse, and now wait for 3 years when Mike Bailey is in AEW and exploding. That's exactly what we're seeing.
He's developing his wrestling super center. We don't know.
Yeah, wrestling super center. He says he wants a Subway. He says he wants a Subway in there, which I think I'm down with that.
He was so disciplined, and you can tell he's like Daniel Bryan, right? Where people, they just love it. They don't care if they're performing in front of 200 people or 200,000.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, go back and watch these interviews, because you get to hear, like I said about Top Guy Weekend, they put their guard down. You get to hear from the people. You don't necessarily hear from the characters that they're portraying on TV. You don't get to hear that, you know, when Eddie Kingston is a perfect example. Eddie Kingston is Eddie Kingston all the time, no matter what. But he was even more guard down listening to him, you know, recap a match and things like that. It's absolutely incredible.
I gotta give him credit. He had a lot of humility in his panel. I'm telling you, that was great.
Through it. And let me say, he brought up a good point. I know AEW is a hot button issue, Brody, as you get hot and start shooting on him. He brought up, it's like, hey, no matter what you say, the TV, watch the pay-per-views. They're always bangers. And
they're always good.
Right.
He is. Yeah, he is. And we got that
right.
And we got that with WrestleDream. Yeah,
but it was a night.
But to Tony's point, and I think he's right now. I was telling Sarah, like, boy, I think sometimes I like watching wrestling at home. Sometimes I like watching it in person.
Yep, I agree. Yeah. And I think WrestleDream was a great success here in St. Louis. We cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow at South Broadway Athletic Club for Glory Pros WrestlePocalypse.
I'm ready.
For Brody the Brain Herman, for JC, for Flying Ryan Swingler. My name is Tony Patrico. This was Wrestling on the Spectrum. We'll talk to you next week. This has been the Lou Information Station, live and on demand at louinfo.com.